Alan Shearer has made a set of bold Premier League predictions ahead of the 2024-25 campaign, which kicks off on Friday. The new season is once again filled with a whole host of exciting storylines, with Manchester City looking to become the first side in history to win 5 consecutive league titles. Arsenal will be hoping to spoil their party and end a 21-year wait for a Premier League trophy, with Liverpool also expected to be among the challengers under new boss Arne Slot. Meanwhile, Man United will hope to get back into contention after a disappointing 2023-24 season which saw them finish in 8th, with manager Erik ten Hag only keeping his job thanks to a win in the FA Cup final. And former Newcastle striker Shearer expects the misery to continue for the Red Devils, predicting the 20-time champions to narrowly miss out on the Champions League in 5th spot. Speaking to Betfair, the BBC pundit said, "Like all managers, Ten Hag will be under pressure. It wasn't a nice situation for him to be in terms of everyone knowing that the bosses at Man United had spoken to other managers and put it out in the public, so he wasn't put in a nice position last season, but that's been forgotten. They have said that H is their man to take them forward and they wanted a bit of stability. It's a big season for him and Man United because they're going to have to improve massively in terms of the league campaign. They did win a trophy, like they did the previous year, but in terms of the league position, they are going to have to improve. I was reasonably impressed with them in the Community Shield, and with the additions that it looks like they're going to make in the coming days, there's no doubt they'll improve." Shearer also gave a negative outlook for Chelsea, who have spent big in this window, most recently signing Pedro Neto from Wolves for £54 million. The pundit, who won the Premier League with Blackburn Rovers in 1995, thinks the West London side will finish all the way down in 9th despite breaking the bank over the summer. He said, "Chelsea are an unusual club for what they've done, how many players they've signed, the money spent and the business they've done, along with the decision to sack Mauricio Pochettino when they did. I don't see them getting into the top 4 at all. They're not ready yet." It's good news for Arsenal as the legendary centre-forward backs the Gunners to finally win a 4th Premier League title, but only if they can land themselves a striker before the window slams shut. Shearer said, "I think it'll be a really tight race for the Premier League title this season, and I see more than 2 teams competing for it. I think the usual teams you'd expect to be up there who've already spent a few quid will put themselves in better positions than what they were last year. There's still so much that can happen in the transfer window. If Arsenal go out and sign a statement centre-forward, then I really think they would have an excellent chance of winning the title. I think that could make the difference for them. Keep in mind how brilliant they were defensively last season, but they've now gone out and spent a fortune on another really good defender in Riccardo Calafiori. I still think they do need to strengthen in that centre-forward position, and that could make the difference. There's going to be a few ifs, because that's what happens before a ball has been kicked. Even with Newcastle and the potential signing of Mark Guehi, he is what they need, and if they can secure his signing, then I would hope they could get into a Champions League position. That's why it's difficult to predict things at this stage. I do think it'll be between Man City and Arsenal again, but if Arsenal go out and sign a striker, then I'd fancy them to win the title this year. Elsewhere, Shearer predicts one of his former sides to sneak into the top 4 for the second time in 3 seasons and another to get relegated. In a sensational claim, The former England international expects Newcastle to finish fourth after benefiting from a lack of European football this season. However, Shearer said he would prefer his boyhood side to land a first major domestic trophy since 1969 than secure another year of European football. Meanwhile, the ex-Southampton man is predicting the Saints to plummet back down to the Championship and finish in 19th. He is forecasting a tight relegation battle but thinks the three who got promoted, also including Ipswich and Leicester, will go straight back to the second tier. As for the Golden Boot race, Shearer, who knows a thing or two about putting the ball in the back of the net, thinks Man City's Erling Haaland is an obvious shoe-in but that others will fight it out. The former striker, who scored a record 260 goals in the competition, said, "If he stays fit, the obvious choice is Erling Haaland." Mo Salah didn't score as many as he'd have liked last season. I'm really looking forward to watching Dominic Solanke this season because he'll want to carry on from a great season with Bournemouth last year. I'm sure he'll get more chances at Spurs. I hope he does well.